David's job interview. Listen and speak English with this journey of confidence and growth. The morning sun streamed through the window as David, a 22-year-old fresh graduate, adjusted his navy blue suit. Today was an important day, his first ever job interview. He had spent weeks preparing, practicing answers, and researching the company. Yet, despite all the preparation, his heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He stood in front of the mirror, straightening his tie. He wanted to make a good first impression. His resume was neatly tucked into a folder, and his shoes were polished to perfection. Everything was in place, but he still felt a wave of doubt creeping in. Taking a deep breath, David reminded himself of all his hard work. He had graduated with a degree in marketing, completed an internship, and even worked on a social media campaign that had improved engagement. He had skills. He had potential. Now, he just needed to prove it. The streets were buzzing with life as David stepped outside. He had left early to make sure he arrived on time. The crisp morning air helped clear his mind as he walked towards the bus stop. On the way, he mentally rehearsed answers to common interview questions. Tell me about yourself. He had practiced this one many times. He planned to talk about his passion for marketing, his ability to analyze trends, and his creativity in designing campaigns. The bus arrived, and David found a seat by the window. As the city blurred past him, he glanced at his phone to review some last-minute tips. Be confident. Speak clearly. Smile. Simple advice, but important. After a short ride, he arrived at the towering glass building where his potential future employer was located. He stood outside for a moment, taking in the sight. It was a modern structure, sleek and professional, just like the kind of place he had dreamed of working at. Taking another deep breath, David stepped inside. The reception area was bright and elegant. A large chandelier hung from the ceiling, and the sound of clicking keyboards and murmured phone conversations filled the space. David approached the receptionist and introduced himself, explaining that he had an interview scheduled with Mr. Roberts, the marketing director. The receptionist smiled politely and asked him to wait in the lounge. David took a seat and glanced around. A few other candidates sat nearby, all dressed in formal attire, reviewing notes or scrolling through their phones. He took out his resume one last time, making sure everything was in order. His palms felt a little sweaty, but he wiped them against his pants and reminded himself to stay calm. A clock on the wall ticked loudly. Minutes passed slowly. Every time the door opened, his heart skipped a beat, wondering if it was his turn. Finally, a tall man in a navy blue suit stepped into the lounge and called his name. It was time. David followed the interviewer into a spacious office with large windows overlooking the city. The man gestured for him to take a seat. The moment had arrived. The interviewer, Mr. Roberts, had a calm yet professional demeanor. He picked up David's resume and scanned it for a few moments. Then, he looked up and smiled. The first question was, "Tell me about yourself." David had rehearsed this many times, but now that he was actually in the moment, he had to stay composed. He took a breath and began speaking, ensuring his voice was clear and steady. He talked about his degree, his passion for digital marketing, and his experience during his internship. He highlighted his role in a social media campaign that had increased engagement by 30%. The next question was about why he wanted to work for the company. David had done his research. He explained how he admired the company's innovative marketing strategies and believed he could contribute with his creative approach. The interviewer nodded, seemingly impressed. Then came a challenging question: "Tell me about a time you faced a problem at work and how you handled it." David took a second to gather his thoughts before responding. He described a situation during his internship where a deadline was approaching, and the team was struggling with coordination. He had taken the initiative to organize tasks, improve communication, and ensure everything was completed on time. The final question was, "Why should we hire you?" David smiled slightly. This was his moment to shine. He confidently explained how he was a quick learner, a team player, and someone who could bring fresh ideas to the company. The interviewer listened carefully. Then, with a small smile, he closed the resume. "Thank you, David. That was a great interview. We'll be in touch soon." David shook his hand firmly, thanked him for the opportunity, and walked out of the office, feeling relieved and proud. As David stepped outside the building, he took a deep breath of fresh air. He had done it. He had faced his first job interview with confidence. He knew there was no guarantee that he would get the job, but he had gained something even more valuable: experience. Interviews weren't just about answering questions. They were about confidence, communication, and preparation. He had learned to stay calm under pressure, to think on his feet, and to present himself in a professional manner. No matter the outcome, David felt one step closer to his dream career. Vocabulary and phrases to learn. New words and their meanings. 1. Interview, noun, a formal meeting where someone is asked questions to assess their suitability for a job. Example: David prepared well for his job interview. 2. Confidence, noun, a feeling of self-assurance. Example: speaking with confidence makes a strong impression in an interview. 3. Resume, noun, a document that lists a person's education and work experience. Example: David updated his resume before applying for jobs. 4. First impression, phrase, the initial perception someone forms about another person. Example: a firm handshake creates a good first impression. 5. Punctual, adjective, being on time. Example: it's important to be punctual for an interview. 6. Nervousness, noun, a state of feeling anxious or uneasy. Example: David felt a little nervous before his interview, but he stayed calm. 7. Professionalism, noun, the quality of behaving in a professional manner. Example: dressing appropriately shows professionalism. 8. Initiative, noun, the ability to take action without being told. Example: taking initiative at work helps in career growth. 9. Team player, phrase, someone who works well with others. Example: companies look for employees who are good team players. 10. Career, noun, a person's journey in their professional life. Example: David was excited to start his career in marketing. Practice sentences for speaking practice. 1. Can you tell me a little about yourself? Use this when introducing yourself in an interview. 2. I recently graduated with a degree in marketing, and I have a passion for social media strategy. A good way to start an interview answer. 3. I am eager to learn and contribute to your company. Shows enthusiasm and motivation. 4. One of my strengths is problem solving, and I enjoy working in a team environment. A great sentence for discussing your strengths. 5. Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you. A polite way to end an interview. David's journey reminds us that every interview is a learning experience. Whether you get the job or not, each opportunity helps you grow, improve, and gain confidence. If you have an interview coming up, stay calm, be prepared, and believe in yourself. Thank you for listening to this story. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye and good luck with your interviews.